was great without a touch of inspiration. It's time now for an enlightened talk. May I have a pleasure to invite our chief guest, Captain Uni Krishnan, to address the gathering. He is a highly esteemed figure in the field of education. Captain Uni Krishnan is a postgraduate in human resource management and personal management. He is the owner of Abacus Education Service and founder of Primus Public School, Bangalore, an alumnus of Officers Training Academy, Chennai. He was awarded with 2 gold and 1 silver medal. He was also awarded with the Sword of Honor. After he completed a successful stint in the army, he is also an avid sportsman.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Agarwal, Miss Alpa Prabhu, all teachers, parents, and the sea of parents and children. I can't even see the other end. I'm so honored to be here at Sagar Public School. Unfortunately, I don't have a prepared note to speak to you, but I would surely want to share my experience with you all. It's been almost 20 years since I have been in this field of education. And the most important thing is the topic that today all of you are seeing is something which is most important in life. There was a lady who used to go every week to a stream beside our house, and religiously she would spend about 2 to 3 hours beside the stream. Now there was a guy who was watching this and saw that every week religiously there was a particular amount of time that she spent. He couldn't stay. He was not going there. He was walking along that road. So he said, "Let me go around and ask her what is she doing." And he took courage. He walked up to her and said. Suddenly he noticed that what she was carrying every day when she went for the walk was a cage, which there was no bottom to it. And she went and kept it on the lake. And when this guy reached there, he saw that there were 3 turtles inside the cage. And there was 1 turtle in her hand, which she was cleaning with a brush. So he thought, what's happening all around? So he asked that lady, "What is it that you are trying to do?" She said that for turtles, as algae forms on them, it diminishes its life, and because of that, she is sitting there and cleaning them and letting them away. So he said, "That is fine, you're doing for 3 of them, but there are so many around. How do you do that?" She said, "I am doing my bit." I think the important time for all of us to understand that rather than look at how the world is going to change, we all need to spend time to do our little bit. As children, it is necessary for all of them to understand not that everybody is throwing garbage around, so how does it matter if I don't do it, will not make a change. As teachers, we can bring that to them, we would have brought a value into them. Another important thing which I read of is of a guy who bought a house by the countryside. Now, for all of you who know, by the countryside, you have houses, they have gardens around, and there are trees. They're well maintained. So this guy newly entered that neighborhood, and he found that every day in front of his house, his neighbor would drop all garbage in front of his house. And the guy who was the neighbor, he was waiting to have a fight with this guy because he didn't like him beside. So that this guy waited for about 10-12 days, and then suddenly one day he took a basket full of of fruits, and he went and left it beside that guy's house with just a note saying, we all share what we have. So that guy would that realize that what he had is what he was sharing, and for all of us to understand that you don't have to shout to anybody, but there is a different way of sharing our thoughts with them. The director had spoken about self-discipline. I think that's very, very essential, because for all of us, especially for someone coming from the army, discipline means you force restrictions on people. But I think discipline has to come from within. And if it is to come from within, it is not on what is taught by CBSE in their book. It is about how the teacher is interacting with the student, how the parent is spending time with the student. I have experienced it whenever it's been almost 20 years since I have been running schools. I would ensure that I was in school at least 15-20 minutes before the children came. And I would stand at the entrance. And I would wish every child who went across, to such an extent that after some time, if I was not there, they all knew that, "Arey, Captain sir nahi aayega." Now the fact is, all of us look forward to expecting children to wish us in the morning. Now, if they don't, then we all, "Why did you not wish me?" I think if we make it a habit, they will start doing it even in your absence. And I learned this in my experience from the academy. For all of you know that as an officer in the army, the junior has to salute the senior. So I remember when I was undergoing training, one young officer, and we were all at that time called cadets. So all those who are in training are called cadets. So we were all going, and among them, one of the cadet did not wish the officer. So he immediately called, "Come here. Why did you not salute?" So this guy obviously he's a young, this one on it, he had no answer to it. He said, "Okay, you will salute me 100 times. So he said, "You will come from there, five steps, salute and go back, and do the same thing." In the meanwhile, a senior officer who was the commandant, he came from there, and he saw this boy is doing there, and the other officer who had punished him was away from there. So he called him. He said, "What is this happening?" He said, "Sir, he did not salute, so I have given him the punishment." "Very good. You must correct the officer. But you must understand, when he is coming to salute, it is your responsibility to take the salute. So please stand here and receive the salute every time he does it." So it is very essential for us to understand, how do we teach? How do we teach children? It's not about books. It's not about what we are giving as instructions. We need to lead by example. All of you will understand two words which I will speak of, which is studying and learning. Am I right? I'm sure all of you have heard what is studying and what is learning. Now these are very tricky words. Do you study for an exam, but you learn for life? The example to understand is, you learn swimming, but you study mathematics. When you go to a lawyer, he does not learn your case. He studies your case. So in school, if you are going to bring in the fact that if children are going to learn mathematics, they are going to learn English, they are going to learn science, it will remain with them for life. If it is not, they will prepare for the exam, they will get into the IIT, but they will not be engineers. So as a school, I think if these two words can be incorporated into what you do, I think you would be able to get a lot of better results. I will not take more time, because I'm sure the parents are not come here to listen to me. They have come here to see the children. Sir, thank you very much for calling me. Alpa, it's been a pleasure, and thank you very much for calling. I generally do not go for any such function, but it's been a great experience. Thank you very much.